Yeah, you're asking all the right questions so far.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
Here we stand, worlds apart, hearts broken.
Marina of Exit Eden, thank you so much for your time today. I do appreciate it. Although before we got started, you told me that you're not feeling great today, and we were already laughing a bit, and that made you cough. So I have to stay focused and ask very boring, serious questions so that you don't laugh, because the previous times that I got to interview you, it was almost impossible to get a question out in between all of the laughter. So let's do our best. Let's do our best. But hey, it's better than, if I'm not mistaken, if I were to talk to Anna today, she might fall asleep while talking to me. Is that true?
Oh my God. What? I don't think. I think she only does that when she is extremely tired after
shooting some videos. Exactly. Okay.
That
good.
Doesn't happen very often.
Someday love will find you, break those chains that bind you.
All right, so
Cool.
On a serious note, let's be very serious.
Let's try.
Regardless of everything that comes with recording 6 videos in one day and cold castles and actually recording an album and all of that work, is for a project like Exit Eden, is balancing calendars still the most difficult thing after all?
No, I think it is hard if things are left, last minute.
Yeah.
You're just left unscheduled for months, and then 2 weeks before something needs to happen, then obviously that's going to be really hard.
Right.
But we could, if things are well planned and done in advance, we are pretty much able to fix things. Yeah. Okay. Now this is, obviously, the 3 of you are the faces of Exit Eden. There's a whole team involved, both on a musical and a technical side. Let's spend some time there real quick, because obviously you're working together with Hannes from Kissing Dynamite as a producer and co-songwriter as well, and mixing, if I'm not mistaken. Then also with Jacob Hansen for mastering. And as far as masterers goes, he's one of the top people. There's no doubt about it. His resume is extremely long. How important when you're trying to balance 3 unique voices in one song and one album, how important do those people become really? Oh, fundamental. I'm not going to pretend that I know a lot about the mastering art, the art of mastering, because I don't. I just hear when it's like, oh wow, this sounds, like things sound even, and it sounds like it's popping, so it did something to the song. But hey, there's just so much work going into that I don't even understand. But I can speak for Hannes's work, for example, which I have seen closely many times, and throughout this process of Exit Eden. No. Without him, there would be no album. Obviously, it's obviously for the original tracks, mostly Anna, but also me, had some ideas, and we had some good demos or something. But the person who actually makes the arrangements and coordinates all the musicians to come and play actual instruments in there and everything, and harmonies and building on all that's the producer, that's Hannes. Because in other cases, for example, that's me plugging Family Lead already, but
Go for it.
Mention, it's a very different workflow, because we are our own producer as well. So we do everything in-house. Max is our in-band producer, so we just sit together and make things happen.
Yeah.
But in the case of an external producer, so if we co-songwrite something, we just send him something that really sounds like nothing, and he's gonna make it. You know, he hears the idea, it's like, oh, this is amazing. Okay, cool. Let's work on that. And that's like the pristine sound that you hear is because of him as a producer. As a songwriter, he is also amazing, right? So he co-wrote every song in the album. And the cover arrangements that everyone loves so much is also done by him. And he has in mind our voices and our opinions about things. You know, we're all songwriters and we're all experienced band members and musicians. So it's not like we're just sitting there and waiting for things to fall on our lap. It's
Right.
You know, there's some respect involved and keeping in mind what we can do, what we can bring to the songs with our performance. But when it comes to arranging instruments in the cover songs, that's something that it's not our part. And I think it's really cool that you already started by mentioning the importance of that musical team behind us, because you know, in a band, you know that there's like, you know, the whole band is there and they record the instruments, but with Exit Eden, it's basically the three of us, but we obviously don't do that, the three of us. So it's really nice to highlight the importance of working with a producer in a project like this. So yes, it's really cool. I think Exit Eden is as much Hannes as it is the three of us, obviously.
You personally, at least this is kind of like me looking from the outside in, and you know, talking to you before. Phantom Elite was labeled for all the right and all the wrong reasons, and a couple of years ago as another symphonic metal band with a female singer, and you guys made a clear statement on your last album, like, hey, this is our new identity. This is who we are.
It was clear.
Well, I mean, you know, a slightly different style from what people, you know, stereotypically determine to be symphonic metal. But obviously, with Exit Eden, you're pulled back into that in a way. So is that a little bit of a double-edged sword for you, where you go like, well, I'm trying to also have my brand out there that is far from this, but at the same time, I mean, the numbers speak for itself. You know, there is a big audience for what you do with Exit Eden.
Yeah, you're asking all the right questions so far. That is something that I've been thinking about a lot, me personally, and I'm like, oh damn, here I go again, being pulled into all sorts of symphonic metal algorithms as well, not only opinions, but also, you know, digitally, all the keywords and the SEO and whatnot, and it's like all being flooded with symphonic metal, but it's not. But I mean, I gave it a lot of thought, and it's not that I'm running like the past from the symphonic metal audience. That's not the case.
Right.
The only problem with Femmes Elite is that if we keep being cornered into this subgenre only, we are not reaching our full audience potential.
Right,
that is the problem. So I don't have a problem with people associating my brand with symphonic metal, because hey, you know, there's good and there's bad symphonic metal. And if this is going towards good symphonic metal, then
right.
Well, and I do not want my brand associated with mediocre stuff. So that's what we're going away from. And I also think that the whole image, like the whole cliche of symphonic metal, how it sounds, how it looks, Exit Eden is not that. Not even the sound is very much cliche. It hits all the criteria for symphonic metal, but it goes above the cliche. I think, like with our singing, we are not doing only pseudo opera there going on.
Right,
We're
right,
not
right.
wearing corsets. I think visually it's even stronger, and we made it a mission. Like, we shall not look like a gothic symphonic band from the 90s. That will not happen. So that's why we actually put a lot of effort into, that's all us really, into the whole visual universe that's going on in the videos, and the photo shoot is a little bit more, it got pulled towards that, but I also understand why.
Right.
There needs to be it needs to speak to the audience right away when it comes to selling records, I guess. But yeah, everything else, I think, like, you'll see the coming videos as well, and it just has a fresh touch of, you know, it's like the 2 videos that just got released, they're bright, they were recorded in summer, you know, like, it's very different from Symphonic Metal. So it's just...
Sorry, do that again.
I just thought of Nosferatu.
Yeah, no, that was very clear. Don't worry.
Although I love
We are not going to be able to have a serious conversation without laughing.
No, that's impossible.
Don't forget what you have done.
But you actually say, you say like, "Oh, here I go again," which actually, when you were talking, for me was like, that would be a fun cover in the future as well. Although I'm not sure how important covers are going to be in the future for you guys, or ladies, I should say. Maybe I'll use that as a question that I don't know if people have been asking you that, but I know that Clémentine and Anna have been swamped with that question. So I'm not going to ask you, oh, what is your favorite song to cover or whatever. But given that this is there's a team behind this, there's conversations about, what will work well. Has there been that moment, or when, because I know that moment definitely happened, what was the moment where somebody, whether it was Hannes or somebody else involved, go like, you guys should do this one, and it was like, no, that's just not gonna happen?
That didn't happen. Well, actually, I thought that about some of the songs that are in the album right now.
Okay.
I was skeptical about many of the choices, to be very honest, because I can speak for myself only. I used to love the concept of the pop thing, like the ridiculous, Lady Gaga, then in over-the-top symphonic metal.
Yeah.
I liked that, and I thought it was extremely cool. I understand why there has been a change towards this new, the selection of covers that we have in this album. I understand it, but I was skeptical at first. I was like, are you guys sure? I mean, they were like, yeah, believe us, and I was like, I gotta listen to be behind it, I have to listen to the arrangements and see where this is going. And then I started believing, and honestly, I love that song from Marillion, Kaylee. I think it's a great song, but I was honestly thinking, like, why? Why are we covering Marillion? We just covered Lady Gaga and Rihanna and Backstreet Boys to Marillion. I didn't understand at all, but I eventually did. These conversations have been going on since 2018, to be very honest.
Yeah.
And we also gave a bunch of ideas that we gave it a lot of thought and suggested many things. But then again, I think we were more inclined towards the, Michael Jackson and the whole pop world thing. Okay. And I actually think that it is a smart move, and it makes sense to make this, to arch over the rock, genre more.
And in a way, also a little bit more broad, and
it's more broad. Exactly.
An anchor point for people that were a teenager in the 70s,
Exactly. And it seems to me like the younger audience is also not bothered by it, at least not so far. We just had Separate Ways coming out, and there were a few people who said, like, oh, I don't know, obviously too young, like, I don't know the song, but I love it.
Right.
Like, okay, That's what matters.
Good. Exactly.
We don't know yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's
I mean, it is an interesting thing that because I mean, I'm gonna assume that most people that listen to you guys will know Journey and some of their songs, and it makes it hard when you mix that with original songs because all of a sudden you've got these songs that are truly brand new that have to compete to your interpretation, but of a song a lot of people recognize and brings nostalgia. So it'll be interesting. Now, so far on the singles that have been released, obviously the view count for Run has been through the roof.
yes.
Not for every original song on the album do you bring back a metal legend out of the blue. That might have something to do with that as well. But let's focus on that video for a second. You guys are the Moirai, the Fates, or at least you represent those. We also have a song called Elysium, and to use a title of another one of the songs, Buried in the Past. Who in Hannes, Anna, or yourself, because I know you contributed, who is so inspired by antiquity?
In this case, that was Anna and Hannes. If I'm not mistaken, Elysium was written by Hannes alone, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Buried in the Past, Hannes and Anna. And Run also, Hannes and Anna. And I think when, again, Anna's not here, so I'm just speaking for her. I could be talking out of my butt, but I think that when she wrote Run, she wasn't thinking about the Greek mythology or mythology at all. I think she was she just wrote a story that she felt had this epic ancient vibe, but the connection with the Fates actually came from when we were thinking about the video.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not mistaken, it also Clémentine had that idea. She was like, why don't we make like the Fates, you know, we are three and we have Marko, and I was like, this is genius, yes, it fits like a glove, and we all found it like a great idea, so there you go, that's how it is over there. And Buried in the Past is, I think it's about Joan of Arc, if I'm not mistaken, again, a different historical period, but it's still historical nevertheless. And Elysium is obviously about the mythological place, the heaven, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of the songs, you know, the original songs tell epic stories. The cover versions are turning sometimes very straightforward pop songs into very epic songs. This would allow you to build like a really cool, crazy live show with lots of production and, you know, retelling some of these videos on the stage. Assuming the answer is, we'll see what, you know, we'll see when we see. But realistically, what should fans expect or hope for to see you guys on a stage together?
Yeah, I think what fans should hope for is exactly the same that I'm hoping for. I cannot grasp the idea. I cannot I cannot be at peace with myself if this doesn't go on stage. It's like I cannot understand. If this doesn't happen, I'm going to be forever frustrated. I'm going to be like, this needs to happen. This needs to happen. So, but realistically speaking, there are no plans.
Yeah. It is,
unfortunately,
what we fear, but we'll hope and then cross our fingers that that we see some festivals where the stars align and all three bands or bands of all three of you are on the same bill in the same weekend, and that something is possible. Awesome.
That would be great.
All right. Yeah. Well, Marina, you're never ever slowing down or sitting still, even when you're sick. So you know, we love that about you. It also means that I will still speak to you many times in the coming year. I wish you all the best.
Yes.
We're obviously
Thank you
talking,
so much.
in December, so I wish you the happy holidays and a year end and all that kind of good stuff. But excited to see
To you
what
too.
2024 will bring.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you. I love your questions, and I always have fun during our interviews, so please, let's schedule more.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.